Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back. It is me screaming into the void of the internet. I had something I wanted to talk about because I was thinking about it just recently. And we as guys always have the weight of the world on our shoulders, and there's always this massive emphasis on us to succeed. And I talked about this a bit, quite a bit ago, in some of my earlier vids, if anyone actually cares to scroll up and find it. But I meant to say, why I feel like it is a lot more time on men. And I feel like it's mainly just because I think that there's some kind of honor code with a lot of men. And I get that people might not think that honor is a real thing, especially because of how the world works and stuff like that. But even people that you would think are dog crap usually have some kind of honor bound code. That's why for example, say this dumb Marseille code or statement, right? Snitches get stitches, which is usually criminals saying, "Oh, don't tell on me and I don't tell on you." That's a code thing. And usually that's a code between guys. For some reason, guys have been taught, and even if you're not taught this, there's still some kind of code between guys that you need to succeed. And it's usually rarely because they want you to succeed for yourself and they want you to be happy. It's because they want you to be a good utility. They want you to be a good boy, air quotes. And by being a good boy, it's not necessarily being a morally good person. It's more so just be a good utility. Go and take care of this person or that person or whatever, right? Because think about it, right? When people would have daughters back in the day, not to pretend those daughters were just going to get wedded off. The parents would choose and that was that, right? Not that I really think that there's a thing wrong with that, considering what this freaking generation is and whatnot, and single moms. So that's a whole other topic. Let me continue. But when it comes down to the sons, even if the sons would get married off, there was still this obligation, in the older days. And I'm not talking boomer days. I'm talking in really old days, right? There was still this obligation that once the parents got older, the sons would usually be the ones who would take care of the parents. In some capacity, even after they have kids, they would still be expected to take care of the parents. It was just something that was the expected thing, and that actually has continued in a lot of places. If you look at Asia, that is a culture in general, where once the parents are old, it is expected that you're going to take care of them. And even if you say marry into an Asian daughter, there's still usually an expectation that she's gonna send stuff back. For example, with the guys going overseas and stuff like that, she's still going to expect some of that money to go towards her family, which I get that. But at the same time, I kind of want to talk about something about that, because it's as I mentioned, rarely do they really care about you being successful for yourself. It's mainly about them. Because here's my thing, right? It's one thing if you want to look out for people that have actually helped you in life and look out for you, because like I said, if I really had a lot of money, I'd just make memories of my friends. Would I help my mom and stuff like that? Yeah. How much? Probably enough. If I had tons and tons, I'd help her enough, but I wouldn't want her to get all dependent on me. You know what I mean? Because the fact of the matter is, much as I love her, for the most part, I had to rely on myself too. I'm not gonna get to the point where I'm just doing absolutely everything for my folks, unless I had tons and tons and tons of money. And if that was the case, I would just give them a certain amount and say, hey, listen, that's you. You got to make that work. I'm not going to be constantly taking care of you. Because the way that I've always seen it, folks, is people who like to get comfortable, when you take care of them too much. And this is why I feel there's so much pressure on the guys, because they always make it seem oh, that's just what life is supposed to be. You're supposed to get to the point where you get enough money, they just take care of this person, and then they just never have to worry about anything. Why? What the heck do you mean? Why? So this person just, knows me, or just comes into my life, and I'm just supposed to, take care of their every whim and need, that's ridiculous. What about me, right? It doesn't matter that you're getting overworked, or you're working these long arse hours, and your body's freaking breaking down, and, oh, that doesn't matter. Go after yourself. And that's, basically what's going on. Because, think about it, you talk to some of these guys on the outside, it seems like they're winning. Right, they're married and whatnot, and you think that they're happy because they're projecting that they're happy, but then they get drunk with their buddies and they feel terrible. They're exhausted. They don't have any time to relax. You know, there's no emphasis on if he's happy or anything, right? It's just he just needs to keep doing. And now, don't get it twisted. You know, I'm not gonna cut him some slack myself, because hey, if you wanted the married life, that's what you get. I'm not saying that's what you deserve. I said that's what you get. You know, you can't freaking sign up for that stuff and think everything's sugary sweet. And say that I want to have the fulfillment of a married life and have all these kids, and now you're overworked as a mofo, and you know, you rarely get sleep because you have to work these long hours for the kids. And the wife, obviously. But there's rarely there's rarely any emphasis on your own happiness. And even if you achieve your own happiness, which, again, people associate success with, like, money and material gain, they then expect you to just be so willing to give that to others, regardless of, like, how they treated you. Because, like I said, you know, like, sure, I'd help my mom and stuff like that, but that's basically about it. Other people in my family, like my sisters, like, why help them? All they have to do is just pick a decent guy. In their lives, that's it. Don't be a piece of crap. Just pick a decent guy, and that's it. You know? You don't gotta worry about anything else. He's taking care of you. But when it comes down to, the son, you know, like, there's usually this belief that the son has to succeed. And I think that that's why, like, some people, like, who are poor, they just pop out so many kids, and they just hope that they get sons, because they just hope that those sons will, like, earn and then just bail them out, right? They're hoping for, like, a bailout plan, because it's insane. It's insane. I feel like, for example, that's kind of a reason why there's so much, like, craziness and, like, worship of women in the Nibba community, right? The Blizzaks, you know? The worship of women here, like, the chicks just, they're used to being single moms, and they have, like, all these freaking different people who are, like, the dads and stuff like that. But there's always, even regardless of, like, wherever you are, right, in this, like, community, even if, like, you're a hardcore gangster or gangbanger, there's still this worship of, like, chicks, especially, like, the moms, as though they did everything. I'm like, what the heck do you mean they did everything? This cocksucker had, like, 8 different people as as, like, the freaking fathers and stuff like that. A complete slam pig. And you're still gonna say that you gotta love them and look out for them. Oh, she was a crackhead, but that's still my mom. No. You didn't get a say in who your parents are, but that's not a mom. You know, you just, yeah, you came from her, but that is not a mom, you know. I feel like it's one thing to, like, be the biological definition, and it's another thing to be the title, you know. Especially when it comes to parenthood, because, like, you got so many examples these days of just bad parents and stuff like that, so. I'm not one that sits around here and says that, oh, just because you're a parent, you're a good one. You just got kids. I mean, you a parent, as far as I'm concerned. I see it too much. And I feel like it drives a lot of guys, because, like, even guys that you think are kind of like toughies and stuff like that, like, a lot of mobsters, mafias, and gangsters, they looked out for their families. They did. These guys will, like, kill other people's families, but they look after their own. And not, again, you know, just their immediate, like, you know, sons and daughters. Just straight up, you know, like, their moms, their dads. Well, not dads. They usually didn't have dads. Their moms, you know, siblings and stuff like that. They would look out for them. There's this idea and this belief, this pressure that we have to do that as guys. We have to. And I'm just here to just say, no, why? Why? Did they do for us? If they did, then I'd say, okay, I do feel like some sort of, I don't want to say obligation, but willingness to want to return that. Because I don't like owing people anything. You know, I don't like owing people anything. I don't like people feeling like they have something to hold over my head to try and control me with and say, oh, well, I did this for you. And so, you know, like, because I've never had the opinion that, like, if I do something for someone, I expect it done back. You know, because I also acknowledge that, listen, for me, and maybe you might think this is stupid, this is within reason, okay? This is not something like saying, oh, like, I gave someone, like, $10,000 or something like that. And if I had money to spend to just do like that, I wouldn't really just give it to somebody expecting to get it back, especially not in this economy. But this is just what I'm trying to say, right? If I do something for someone, I'm not doing it to like try and hold it over my head. Like, I've helped my friend like cash checks, and he's borrowed money from me and I him, but we always pay it back. That's the thing. Like, we do it back. But even if he didn't pay it back, if he couldn't, I'm not gonna hold that over his head because he does so much for me, you know. And I've done things for other people, and I don't necessarily expect it back. You know, for example, like when I worked at a pantry and stuff, and not just give someone an extra box. You know, I don't expect that back, and I don't really like consider, because listen, like, I don't do it because I'm hoping to have something over someone's head. I'm doing it just because I don't want to say it's the right thing to do. It's just, I just wanted to help out. That's it. I don't have this opinion where it's like, oh, now you're in my debt. Do what I say when I say it, like. Because I also acknowledge that, even if you do that, there's no guarantee that this person is actually going to look out for you. And this is kind of why I feel stuff like neighbors is overrated, because a lot of people feel like, well, when you have neighbors, you want to be nice to your neighbors because hopefully if you were in a time of need, then those people, could look out for you. And maybe that's how it was, back when people held each other to a higher standard, But in today's day and age, with like the debauchery and the sheer lack of principles and morals, you can't really expect that. That only really exists in like some anime or some kind of fictional setting where it's like friendship and magic and all that kind of nonsense, right? Not that friendship is nonsense, but, the level of friendship in like fiction is a lot more wholesome than the level of friendship that you'll usually encounter in life. We wish that we could encounter friends that we would have like in fiction, like those guys who would actually just straight up stand by each other no matter what. But you rarely have that there. That's why, I appreciate it so much. Like, I was gonna say my best friend, my best friend's basically like that. My best friend's basically like that, so I'm very grateful. And I know I mention him a lot because, hey man, I know that there are people out here that just manipulate you and don't really give a rat's arse. So, having him in my life, I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. But what I'm trying to get at here, because I tend to, jump all over the place, is I don't ever feel entitled to, like, someone to, like, repay stuff like that. Because, how, like, in business, and I guess it's not even just business, it's just in general in this world, like, this debt crap with inflation and stuff like that. Oh, you borrow, like, $1, but you're supposed to pay $2 or $3 or something. Like, what? I'm not gonna, and I'm not gonna do that, Let's say that I did hold the, like, air quotes debt. You just pay what you borrow, not this extra stuff, But I digress, because I don't really have, like, a long-winded thing to talk about now. I just kind of wanted to talk about this, right? There's this code on guys, and we feel as though we're supposed to succeed. But when you really get down to it and you ask a lot of these guys, it's usually because they just want to help someone else. Whether it's like their freaking girlfriend or their mom, their family. But it's rarely because it's like what they want. I listened to like one of these rappers, and I don't listen to rap, but like he was on a podcast and he was just talking about, his mom wanted this for him. Like all of this like luxury life and stuff like that. But he's like, he just wants to be happy. And even with all that money, he didn't really feel accomplished because it's what his mom wanted. And he loved his mom so much that he just went into that industry, and yeah, he earned it, but he still doesn't feel fulfilled. Because it's probably one of those things where he didn't do it because he liked it. He didn't do it because he has a passion for it. He just did it because that's what his mom wanted. You have guys out here that will, like, want to make their moms and dads, mostly moms now, considering that, F dads, right? But whatever. Mostly moms, happy. And they'll do whatever it is. Oh, mom, you want me to be a doctor? I'll be a doctor. Oh, mom, you want me to do this? You got guys that will just do that. It existed with dads, too. Oh, you want me to join the military, dad? Okay. And they're miserable, and it eats them up, and they don't have the will to, like, tell their parents, like, hey, man, I can't do this anymore. Because, like, there's this expectation on your folks, to, like, just, oh, you're supposed to do this. And it's a goddamn shame that we live in a world where we're always prioritizing this asinine materialism that you can't take with you. You know, Tut died, and all these pharaohs died, and all these people, and tried to bury their gold, and guess where the gold was? Right there. Unless someone dug it up and, freaking got it. But for the most part, the gold was right there. It didn't go with them. No matter how much they thought it was, it didn't go with them. Sadly, a lot of times, they killed their freaking slaves, too. Well, I'm taking that with me in the afterlife. It's the truth, man. I feel as though a lot of us as guys, and I said this before, Atlas Shrugged. Just Atlas Shrugged, dude. If you don't know who Atlas is, it's basically like, Greek mythology. Titan holding the world on his shoulders. So the term Atlas Shrugged is throw it off. Whatever. Whoops, the world slipped, whatever. Throw it off, man. Let go of the reasons that people want you to be successful. And ask yourself what it is that you want to be successful for, Because I've said it many times, I don't really need a lot of money. I hate money to begin with. I don't like that every facet of your life is controlled by this thing that doesn't even have actual value. It doesn't. People will try to swear up and down and suck each other off and lick each other's arseholes and say, oh, it does. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. If everything goes to hell right now, you want to know what we use as currency? The stuff that always mattered. Freaking tools. Resources. Those are the things that we're going to use. What's the resources? Simple. Lumber. Iron. Minerals. Water. Food. Things like that. Those are going to be what we trade. You're not going to use money. If there's an apocalypse right now, you will go back to that stuff. There will be luxuries, yes. Like, say, cigarettes. Cigarettes are hard to come by or something like that. In an apocalyptic setting, considering how freaking stressed people are going to be, they're going to love cigarettes. They'll love that stuff. They'll love hallucinogens and stuff like that. People will trade that. That's what we will do. Money just stops you from being able to do anything. When you really think about it, let's say that you wanted to go on an adventure. You got enough money to where your freaking house isn't going to, not be your house anymore. When you get back, nope, can't go. Got enough money to just go and get on a boat and go sailing? Nope, can't go. And if you do have, your own boat, oh, well, sign the papers. We need to know where this boat's going because they got to know where you are 24/7. All this nonsense. It's irritating. So for me, I've never really held the belief that money is something that I should care about. I've just always wanted to just get the heck out of this slum, this ghetto, this trashy, crack shack, whatever people want to call it, I've always hated it. And people like to think that, once you become an adult, at least you can do something with your life. And I'd say, I wish that were true. I really do. I wish that were true. And even if you think it's true, it's like you have a limited amount of time. Think about it, right? Your parents aren't getting any younger. And then let's just say that your parents don't make enough anymore, especially in this freaking economy, and then you're homeless. Now you got to somehow get a roof over your head, and then you still got to look for work. And you got a roof over your head and you can't find work. So good luck finding, work after you don't have a roof over your head. And then you got to somehow make sure that you're cleanly and stuff like that. And as a male, well, go F yourself. Especially, actually, scratch that, just as an American citizen male, go F yourself, because all of the stuff that you should have gotten has gone to illegals, right? It's a shame that there's all of this weight on our shoulders, and it's why I feel like I long for freedom so much, I just want to be in a space where I am as in control of my life as I possibly can be. I don't want any more uncontrolled variables to the equation, if you're familiar with science, right? I'm done with the uncontrolled variables. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I just want to know that what I have is mine. I can expect the routine, because listen, I know as a lot of neats, you hate the routine because it's you just wake up late in the afternoon and you stayed up all night gaming or something like that. And it's just rinse and repeat, and you're just stuck in a freaking Tsukuyomi. But routine's good when it's like something that you're in control of, you know. If I woke up and I had my own place and I didn't listen to freaking cocksuckers shooting each other, and I could actually like walk around the block without fear of my life, then, you know, I wouldn't care about the routine as much. I wouldn't. You know? Because I know, like, you know, the way I'm going to, like, live life, especially, like, if this actual career goes through. If it doesn't go through, I think I'll have another plan, but if it does go through, like, I'm gonna have a decent bit of money, even though I'm still in the midst of trying to get, like, these pharmacy records and all this other information. If it does go through, then I'm gonna be able to, like, you know, take time off and just, like, freaking chill. Because I'm not gonna have responsibilities. I'm not gonna have a family. I'm not gonna have anyone I'm just paying for and stuff like that. So I can chill. If I want to take a week off, I could take a week off. If I want to take a month off, if I save up, yeah, I could take a month off. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna live life. I don't really give a rat's arse if someone says, "Yeah, that's lazy, bro. You need to do something with all you go." I don't care. Because I'm done. I'm done feeling as though I need to be successful for you. What about me? I think a lot of us need to start doing that. We need to just start saying, I'm going to do this. If I am going to do this at all, I'm going to do it for me. I'm not going to do it for someone else. I'm not going to do it because I need to bail someone out, or some random arse chick thinks that she's going to come along and make all these bad decisions and then I'm supposed to freaking fix them. No. I'm going to do it for me. Now, if that's what you want as, like, guys, if you feel like you have to have that to be complete, then all right, but still, you know what you're signing up for. Don't be one of these freaking jackarses that, you know, you get that life and then all the freaking joy just drains from your body because now you got to deal with all these kids and, like, some freaking gal nagging you. Hey, you wanted it. So, be careful what you wish for, as they say. But, I guess in closing, what I'm trying to get at here is the weight that you feel on your shoulders, guys. Understand why that weight's there. Is it really there because you want to help your family because you feel that it's the right thing to do? Or is it the thing that they're expecting you to do? And if they're expecting you to do it, is it because they actually look out for you? Because a lot of us in, like, you know, this kind of space, like NEETs and black pills and stuff like that, and doomers, even though I don't really claim either of them, except the NEET, because I am that, you know. Like, your family doesn't really look out for you. They don't really understand you a lot of times, you know. Sure, my mom, like, you know, gives me a place to stay and stuff like that, but, you know, she still doesn't really understand what I go through and stuff like that. You know, they don't. And, again, that's not enough to, like, say that, oh, they don't care about me. That's not true, because, you know, they could just kick me out, right? But you also, again, have to acknowledge, okay, listen, if I did get successful right now, would they feel like they're supposed to get some of that? I don't know. I don't know if they'd feel that way. They probably would, to be honest. And I don't say that because I know them. I say that just because I know human nature. And when you do, you know, get a little bit of something finally, all of these people that pretended like you didn't exist, that pretended that they couldn't help you at all. Oh, well, you see, could I get some of that? No. That's not how that's going to work. I'm just telling you guys, you know, it's fine to just shrug it off. Do an Atlas shrug. Let it go, man. If you still care about success and stuff like that, care for your reasonings, not for someone else's. Care for your reasonings. You know? Do this for you. Don't do this because you need to make someone else some money. Do it for you. You know? But I digress. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed. God bless. I'll see you next time.